Have you found time to write, but then when it actually comes time to write, things are constantly getting in the way? Welcome. Today I'm going to share with you what those things could be and how you can work through them. Hi, my name is Elke. Welcome to my channel. If you don't know who I am, I'm an author and a book coach, and I help writers, fiction writers, stay focused with accountability and support, taking them from idea to launched book. So one of those things that could stop you, that might be stopping you from writing during your sessions, is life. It happens, it's inevitable, right? You choose the time to write and you're ready to go, and then something happens. One of the things that I think happens is a lot of times writers will say, okay, this is the date and time I'm going to write, without really looking at their schedule and seeing, is it really going to work? And then they think there's something wrong with them, or there's something wrong that why can't they actually write when it's their time to write, right? So one of the things that I recommend that is a quick thing to do is to look at when is the best time to write that fits your life. And as I mentioned, one quick way to do this is to look at your wasted time. We all know what that is, when the hours that we spend time on TV or watching TV or scrolling through social media, right? It's to look at that time and pick whether it's an hour, half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever you want to choose, and use that time so that you still have your downtime, you still have your relaxed time, but then you're actually using that time to write, because hey, obviously it's the best time because you're wasting it, right? So now you may be saying, I don't have any wasted time. What are you talking about? And this may be true, but I want to challenge you to actually look at your schedule for a week and then tell me whether you can actually find real time to write in your schedule or not, and whether life really is happening or whether you can find time to write. And I share how to do this and what to look for in another video, which I'll share below. Okay, so the next thing that might be stopping you from writing is overthinking, right? You sit down to write and, you know, your mind is racing with all this anxiety and, you know, what do I write? Or I've got so many issues with this story, with this character, I don't know how to fix it. And I think one way to work around this is not to focus on what's wrong with the story or what needs to be fixed, but instead focus on what you love about your story. What is it you love about your characters? And because I find that when you focus on what you love about the story, it really helps to boost your excitement and gets you in that creative flow because you love this thing about your story. And it makes it easier, not only easier to start writing, but it also can help you to find solutions to those problems that you have in your story, or that need to be fixed, right? Because it's easier when you're in that creative flow to find those solutions than when you're overthinking, right? So the next issue that might be keeping you from writing is not being consistent, because let's face it, maybe it's not life, maybe it's you that's getting in the way, right? And you're just not able to do it on your own. And one thing that can help, which I talk about all the time in my Facebook group, is accountability. This is so huge, and there's several different types of accountability that you can use, but I'm going to talk about 3 for the sake of brevity in this video, right? And the first one that you can do to get accountability is to find a writing buddy. Now, this is somebody who is actually writing and not talking about writing, right? Because sometimes we connect with people, but then we find that they love talking about writing, but not necessarily actually writing. And this writing buddy can be somebody that you actually write with, or it's someone that you're just accountable to for your writing sessions. I have one that I use all the time. I check in with her. I send her through instant messenger saying, hey, this is what I wrote today. This is, how I did. Or I might just say, hey, you know what? I didn't get to writing today because of this. And then she does the same because I'm her accountability partner. So that works really well for us. So another type of accountability is to join co-writing sessions in Facebook groups. I think there's 5 a.m. writers, and there's a few others that I'll be honest with you, I don't use because I used to offer co-writing sessions in my own group last year, which I did, and everyone in the group loved it because it really helped to hold them accountable, right? Another option, if you want to, is I noticed that there's a lot of writers here on YouTube who actually do write with me sessions, which I think are great. Now, I haven't done that yet myself. Maybe that's something I'll look into in the future. Tell me in the comments if that's something that you would be interested in doing with me, and I would be happy to look at that. So, like I said, there's a lot of writers that are on YouTube that have write with me sessions, which are anywhere from half an hour to an hour or longer. So that is an option how you can be accountable with someone to actually get your writing done. Another option, if you're feeling really, really brave, is to use social media. And I only recommend using social media if you have a supportive community on your platform. You don't want to post it and then have people making you feel guilty, or because let me tell you, when you miss those writing sessions, you actually pile on enough guilt on yourself, right? You don't need any additional ones. So I would say only use a social media one if you have a supportive people on your platform. All right. So what if you just miss your writing session? Now, this isn't like the first one where it's you and you're constantly, you just need that accountability because you just can't get there. This is if you've been diligent, you've been writing consistently, but then something happens and you miss your session. What I want you to do is not, obviously, don't guilt yourself. The first thing you can do is to give yourself grace because things happen. Whether it's you just not feeling it or, the shit hit the fan that day, right? And there was no way that you were going to be able to get writing in. So make sure that you give yourself grace, especially if you've got a lot of stuff going on, right? The second thing you want to do is to don't allow that missed session to stop you from writing indefinitely or for a long period of time. And how you can avoid doing that is with this next tip, which is to commit to your next writing session or another time that works better for your life. Because if things have really gone to crap and you just need a little bit of time, whether it's a couple of weeks or a couple of days, just choose a time at that time instead of just saying, oh, I'll do it later, because let's face it, it ain't gonna happen, right? So make sure that you commit to your next writing session, okay? The next thing you can do is look at your schedule and see maybe you need to change it, right? I know this has been a huge learning curve for me and something that I've had to do in addition to giving myself grace this year, is I find that I have to look at my schedule every week, sometimes every day, because I share custody with my kids, so my week, from week to week, everything changes, right? Depending on what's going on with my kids. So I've just said, you know what, rather than me just pinning down a time and trying to make it work, is just to say, hey, let me look at my schedule and how I can adjust it as I need it. And maybe that's what you need to do, rather than just trying to make that work all the time, is just say, hey, you know what, this isn't working, let me try something new, right? The next thing that may be stopping you from writing, and I know this is one that a lot of writers talk about and complain about, is the dreaded blank page, right? Now, if this is an issue for you, here are some things that you can do to help you push through it, because yeah, All right, the first you can do is to take 5 minutes to summarize the scene you want to write. Now, I talk about this in more detail and how to do that in another video, which I will put below as well too. All right, so the reason is it gets you in the creative flow and also helps to put you in the story so that it gets you going, okay? The next thing you can do is to look at your outline or journal or whatever it is that you created when you first started working on the story. Now, I personally use what I call a story Bible, and it allows me to keep all of my stuff into one place, and I share that in another video, which I'll put in the comments as well too, to talk about that. And the reason why I did that is because I found a lot of times I was creating outlines, or I was, writing in journals, and then I would start writing the story, and then I would be sitting there thinking, what is supposed to be happening next? What's going to happen? And then I totally forgot about this journal and all the stuff that I put together. And sometimes that happens when you're blocked or you're just working in the story. You forget, oh crap, I've got this journal of all this stuff that's supposed to happen, or scene ideas, all those things. So make sure that you go back to those and actually utilize them, because I think you'll find that it'll help you get through that blank page, right? The next thing you can do is to find ways to motivate yourself. And this can be as simple as, going for a walk or listening to music. But I think the key is to find what motivates you, because I find every writer is different. What motivates me might not motivate the next writer. So it's really important that you find what motivates you. And I have another video, 10 ways to motivate yourself, which I'll also put below so that you can go and watch that as well too. All right, so the next one that I know a lot of writers use and recommend is to free write. And what free writing allows you to do is just to not think about the book and what you have to do, and it kind of takes the pressure off, so you're just writing anything and everything that comes to you. So it kind of breaks through that dam of, what do I need to write? I have to write something about my story. You're just in the flow of just writing, and that really helps to break through that block and also get those creative juices flowing, especially since the words for your story aren't coming, right? All right, so there you have it. How to deal with issues that keep you from writing, even though you've found time to write. All right, now writing a book is hard, and just as hard as trying to be consistent, whether you're plagued with fears or doubts or can't seem to get started, or maybe you start but never finish. If this is you, I want to invite you to my masterclass, How to Start Writing the Damn Book. And in this masterclass, you'll get answers to those hard questions like, I don't know how to write a book, and come off the stop and start roller coaster. Been there, done that, right? So the next thing you'll learn is to remove sayings like, I'm not really a writer, and who's going to want to read my book, right? And so that you can actually write your book. All right. And then the third thing that I'm going to cover is to help you to stop thoughts like, why can't I finish this book? And I don't have the skills to write a book, that keep you stuck. All right. So I will share the link to the masterclass down below. And if this is something that you're interested in, I would love to see you there. As always, if you enjoyed the content, please like and share the video, and subscribe so that you can get notifications of the next video. I am here every Friday, so you can get a notification. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you next week.